Hi, I've had a lot of requests to show you how I made these nature journals out of paper bags for my kids. I went with 64 pages including the front and back so that there's a definite 52, one for each year, one for each week in the year, and a few extras for doing a feather page or whatever. So what you're gonna need is scissors, paper bags. I used 8 and I got them from the dollar store. Embroidery floss, a needle. Let's try that again. A needle and scissors, and optionally you can get some of that really fun, cute duct tape that you can use as a binding, or you can just leave it out. It's not necessary. All right, I'm gonna get all this together and I'll come back to you in just a minute here. Okay, to make your pages, you take a paper bag like this, and I've seen some people that just fold it like this so that they can leave a pouch if you want to put nature treasures in it. Or to make it like I made it, cut this part off right here. You're using the bottom of the flap as your guideline for where you're cutting. Cut that right off. Perfection is not necessary for this. I kind of like having slightly ripped pages. I think it adds character. Just slide. What I'm cutting right now is on the sides, you have 2 distinct lines. And I'm just gonna cut along there. If you're a perfectionist, you can cut it out so it's a lot cleaner, but I like the raggedy edges. I think it makes for a more natural looking journal. And these leftover pieces that I'm cutting out, you can cut up to use for tags for Christmas presents. You can use them for crafts later. You can use them for starting a fire. And we have a wood fireplace, so that's nice. One last one, here we go. All right, so eventually you're going to have a big stack of these, and through the magic of editing, ta-da, here they are. And then what you need to do is fold them in half, like so. Okay, when you finish folding all of your pages, the next thing I want you to do is start putting them in stacks of 4. And then I'll come back with the next step. Okay, once you have your 4 sections of 4 pages, we're going to bind them. I'm going to show you the most rudimentary of bookbinding, but you could do anything really. You could use staples, you could use a hole punch and yarn, but this is how we're going to do it. This is probably about 5 feet, maybe, give or take, of embroidery floss that I doubled over. So basically 2 armfuls. What you're gonna do is you're gonna go in to the middle of the spine, about 1/2 inch, 1/4 of an inch down, and push it through to the other side. And that's what it's like to be a mother trying to do a video. Hey, sweetie. You're fine. And then I looped it over like that. Then you come back down. Come through. This is what it looks like on this side. This is what it looks like on this side. Then you're going to come back up on this one and try to go through the center of both of your threads. Just kind of keeps it nice and neat. You having problems today? Yeah? It's okay, sweetheart. I see. So, you keep sewing like that until you get to the end. And then I will be back to show you what the next step is. But I have a baby to take care of, so I will be right back. Okay, we're back. So I was going along the spine on that nice crease that you made, coming up and skipping one, and then coming back through the center. I don't know if you can see, but you're coming down right through this area right here. And you pull up and back. And when you get this far, you're very close to the edge, I like to come back up through this top right here, right there. And just pull it over the top. And go under this stitch right here. And then I tie it off. I'm not trying to make this super pretty or professional. I think that having things a little crooked, a little off gives it character. So these journals will be full of lots of character. Okay. And the next step will be to bind it. So again, you're probably going to stretch out about 2 armfuls or arm lengths of embroidery floss. And bear with me while I thread these things because I'm no pro at that. Okay. I like to double my thread because it makes it nice and thick and rich looking, and that'll make sense in just a second here. And when you tie your knot, if you leave extra, instead of doing it close to the end of the knot, if you leave like an inch or 2 or 3, you can tie beads onto that because this is going to become your spine. Now, what you do is you take your 4 sections and you stack them together about as nice as you can. And then you're gonna wanna even them up. And I find that clothespins work really nice for this step. It'll hold it for you. Then what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your needle and you're gonna go through underneath all 4 of those pages. You're not going through the pages this time, you're just going underneath the embroidery floss. And this is going to be your binding. Now you could leave a section here to tie things on or make a bookmark, but I'm not doing that this time. So I go through my thread, or you can just tie a knot, whatever works for you. And then I'll cut off that extra little tidbit. Okay. Now here's how you bind it. You're going to go down to your first 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch, whatever you did, and then you're just going to go back under. And go all the way through all of the pages, come over and do it again. And you don't want to pull super tight either. You want to leave it somewhat loose, about that much tension. Then you're going to go down to the next 1/4 inch area. Make sure to go through all the pages, or well, all of the embroidery floss. Pull through, wrap it over, and do it again. Go down to the next 1/4, probably right about there for this one. Go through all the pages. I'm missing one, so I'm just gonna have to come back to that one. Hello, little guy. There we go. Oops. There we go. And wrap it over and do it again. And you can see you're creating a bit of a ladder almost pattern coming down the spine. And I will come back in a minute once I have this done. When you get to the end like this, just go ahead and go through and tie yourself a little knot. I like to do a double knot, just to be sure. Now, and again, you can snip this longer or shorter depending on if you want to hang anything off of it. Now, for this journal, I'm actually going to leave it this way because I really like the way that binding looks. And I like the natural crunchiness of it. But if you want to do what I did for my sons, just take some decorative duct tape and find that magical edge. There it is. And really all you're doing is cutting it off so that it fits your journal. And then carefully putting about half on one side. I think I cut it too long. I'll have to do some trimming. And then fold it over, and then ta-da, you have a journal. Decorate it up and you're good to go. All right, I just wanted to show you real quick how I'm going to present this to my kids. My kids are 2 and 4, so having them take these into the woods doesn't really work, but having them near the nature table when we come home is a nice place for them to scribble in, color in, for us to collage pictures that we take from on the camera and then print them out on the computer and put them in here. Stuff, feathers in that we found while we're outside. I find them to be distracting outside, but nice as a recapping when we get home. So this is their nature table basket. It has pine cones and rocks and acorns, a couple different types of pine cones and some feathers. It's kind of standard right now. We're in the middle of winter, but they're also going to be getting this magnifying glass that I got at World Market in the 5 and below bin, I believe. And it's a really nice one. This is a pair of tweezers. These are fat grip tweezers that are good for little fingers. And I got them at the local Dollar Tree. And these are twig colored pencils that I will be giving to them. And I also got these at World Market in the 5 and below bins, I think. If they were more than that, it wasn't by much. And that is how I will be presenting them to my children on Christmas. So thank you for watching, and I hope that helps some of you out. Happy holidays.